Back in my day one run of The Vow the Disciple, which if you haven't seen you should check out, I was using an LMG called Corrective Measure, which comes from the Vault of Glass raid. The perks on the LMG were Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie, and the reason I was using this is because I was the one running Divinity on the day, so I found it awkward to find a middle ground as to what I wanted to use in my heavy and kinetic slots. This LMG role was perfect role for me in terms of fitting into my grenade build. Hello everyone, my name is ERATTIC and we are going to fast forward into today's Season of the Haunted and look at the newest seasonal ritual weapon, Chain of Command. Remember, if you see anything you like in today's video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe for more. We are at 490 subscribers, which is awesome, and just 10 away from my sub goal of 500. I'm hoping you'll be the one that gets me there. Now, the reason I bring up my day one experience, including my LMG role, is because the ritual weapon for Season of the Haunted is an LMG called Chain of Command. And not only is it an LMG, but it's also got the exact same top 2 perks that I used on my other LMG a while ago, which was really damn useful for that situation, and so I thought I'd jump on this and talk about it. So first we are going to look at the weapon's perks and then give my opinion on whether this LMG is good or not. And the first perk we have on this weapon is Adrenaline Junkie. This weapon gains increased damage and handling from final blows with grenades or this weapon. So typically when you just get a kill with this weapon, you end up gaining a stack of Adrenaline Junkie, and it goes all the way up to times 5. Now pretty much you don't really want to just be getting kills with this weapon to get all the way to 5 stacks, because if you get a grenade kill, then you just get to 5 stacks instantly with this weapon, and that's going to give you a 33% increase to its damage. And the next perk is Demolitionist, so when you get kills with this weapon you generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves, so it's really nice for this LMG. So ideally you want to throw a nade out maybe and then unload all of your magazine onto a bunch of enemies, and then by the time you've used all the magazine in your LMG, then you typically want to throw out another grenade and then your LMG is ready to go again. And then the next 2 perks we have are Osmosis and Adaptive Munitions. So looking at Osmosis first, it basically allows you to use your grenade ability and change the weapon's damage type to match your subclass until you stow it. So for example, the Chain of Command is a stasis weapon, but if you're going to throw a void, a solar or an arc grenade out, it's then going to change to that energy type. And then finally we have Adaptive Munitions, where this weapon will adapt its damage output and effectiveness against energy shields that don't match the weapon's damage type. So if you have a stasis LMG or a void LMG maybe against a solar shield, well then this weapon with the perk is then going to shred through that no problem. So ideally this LMG is made to be the one-stop shop for any legendary LMG if you wanted to use one or need one. It provides great utility for those grenade builds if you use the combination like Demolitionist and Adrenaline Junkie, where you're clearing easy to mid-range content. And it provides awesome utility in another way by using the combination Osmosis and Adaptive Ammunitions, which brings that amazing versatility to higher tiers of content like Grandmasters. Now it's time to ask whether this LMG is good or bad, and it's tricky to say because if I was giving you a short answer I'd say yes. However, if I was to give you a longer answer, I'd say no, and that's because LMGs just simply haven't been in the spotlight for much content in a long time for Destiny, unless they have been exotic like Xenophage, which works very different from any other LMGs. I believe it's due to the nature of Destiny and how the gameplay has evolved over time, and how we as the player are getting stronger with all these abilities on our subclasses and perks on our guns, that something like the Chain of Command is just something arguably too specific or too situational for the game. The king of damage phases with anything such as raids or difficult strike bosses is high burst DPS. So when you have an LMG which is going to need to go through a full magazine at 750 RPM, it's going to take longer than most weapons to fire out all of its ammo on top of keeping up with another weapon's archetype in the heavy slot for damage. The problem with Chain of Command as well is if you're looking to do any specific content in Destiny, then prior to doing it, you're probably going to cater your weapon specifically for that activity already. For example, we have had another pinnacle ritual weapon before, that's an LMG, and that's the 21% Delirium, which at the time had killing tally exclusively. And the reason it did so well was because everything around that weapon was built for doing its job. It was a rapid fire frame, and killing tally allowed it to be an ad clearing machine on top of if it was able to kill a bunch of enemies and then take on much bigger major targets by itself. I believe all in all that if you don't have a great LMG, or if you're a newer beginning player, then this is a great weapon to start off with, because then you'll be able to bring something to the table no matter what you're doing. Also, I believe this brings an old playstyle back to Destiny, which allows someone to be on ad clear through weapons other than abilities, even though with this day and age, anyone can ad clear no matter what setup you really have. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck to the end, you're truly awesome, and let me know what you think about this weapon, and I'll catch you all in the next one.